Cheating breaks trust. It shakes your core and forces you to confront the question that many dread. Should I walk away or should I try to fix things? In today's episode of the institution called marriage, we ask one of the most important questions. Must you divorce when your partner cheats? The truth is that it depends. It depends on your pain. It depends on your partner's response. And most importantly, it depends on what gives you peace in the long term. I have come to realize that infidelity is one of the most painful breaches of trust in marriage. But does it always mean that when your partner cheats, you should be looking for the divorce door? I would say not always, because the decision depends on so many factors. Your emotional well-being, the context of the betrayal, your partner's response, and your long-term peace of mind. In as much as I've said all these things, in this episode, let's talk about the betrayal, the forgiveness, and finding peace and clarity after the storm. My name is Dr. Obuobi. You can call me Love Dr. Obi. I'm the host for the institution called Marriage. If you are new to this channel, please don't hesitate to hit on the subscribe button. And also, if you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate you so much for always being with me. And let's get into it. Now, in case your partner cheated on you, these are some of the things that I think you should consider to decide whether you are to stay or leave. The first thing is that I believe that cheating is so deep, and so are people's reactions. People process cheating differently. For some people, it is a non-negotiable deal breaker that they would never be willing to compromise for. For some people, it is something that can be healed over time. And also, gender can also influence the intensity of cheating. The way men approach cheating is different from the way women approach cheating. Men, because of their pride, because of their ego and societal conceptions, may not be willing to take cheating lightly. In fact, many men or most men will walk away should their women or their partners cheat. The situation is not always the same with women. In as much as some women will choose to also leave, some women believe that their emotional stability matters. So some women may think that, oh, a man can cheat, but depending on the man's response, they can decide to work things out or see how the future holds. So there's not one size fits all answer. So when your partner cheats, depending on what you can handle or what you can manage or how it affects you or how you feel at that particular point in time, that will decide whether you have to leave or you have to stay and fix things. You must decide what that act means to you and how it has affected your soul and your trust. The second thing I would like to talk about regarding this topic is that your partner's attitude matters more than that mistake, if it is considered a mistake. If your partner cheats on you but is remorseful or takes full responsibility for his actions and is willing or desire to make things right, then I think that it may be worth trying to rebuild everything. If after cheating and they are arrogant, emotionally abusive, or blame you for their actions, then you must consider protecting yourself. Because reconciliation can only be meaningful when both parties are willing and are committed to healing, not repeating the cycle. And so if you have someone who understands that they faulted, they broke their trust, they broke their promises, and they are willing to make things right, something just happened within the twinkle of an eye, and if they are willing to make things right, I think you can start to build from that place. But if you meet someone who makes it seem that they cheated because of you, they make it seem like it is their entitlement, they're entitled to do that, you might reconsider living or protecting yourself. Now, another important thing you have to consider after your partner has cheated is that you have to weigh what is at stake. It is very, very important. Emotionally, socially, and practically. These are very important things that most people miss. They do not weigh, they are engulfed in that emotion and broken trust, and they want to end things on impulse. So when the act happens, before deciding on divorce or reconciliation, you have to ask some important questions. What am I losing or gaining by leaving? Many people are not honest with themselves and they always try to act on impulse, which later leads to regrets. The act or the mistake may have happened, but you have to assess what you are losing or gaining when you leave. Sometimes leaving may not be the best option. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, are there children involved? Because when children come into the equation, the dynamics change. It is no more about your only feelings because you have decided to bring forth these little ones. And so the moment they are involved, the dynamic change. You cannot just pick your bag and then leave just as you are the only people involved in the marriage. The children's future, their security are at stake. And so you must consider all those things before you decide whether to divorce or reconcile. We have to also ask, what will this do to my mental health? Both if I stay or leave. If you stay, considering the damage or the broken trust, what is it going to do to your mental health? Like I said, everyone approach divorce with different perspective. Sometimes depending on the level of trust you have in that person and being broken, you may not be able to take it so much. And people get depressed after their partner cheats. But it makes them wonder and think about why they will bypass them for another person. Make them feel not enough. So you have to ask the question that if I leave, what would my mental state be? If I stay, what will my mental state be? If it's not going to be so great, then you have to assess it very well and know the kind of decision that you've got to take. I am much particular about this because the goal is not just to have an emotional reaction or exercise certain rights, but to make a long-term positive decision for yourself after that has happened. Sometimes forgiveness can lead to a stronger marriage. Other times, separation is the path to peace. I've seen people who got separated and had their peace of mind. I've seen people who forgive themselves regarding a particular cheating behavior and they are having a stronger, successful marriage. So analyze it very well, ask the important questions and make a positive decision. The last thing I would like to talk about regarding this topic is that life after divorce is not rosy, but it can be necessary. The most important thing that you have to know what to expect should you choose divorce, because it may come with loneliness, financial adjustments, or new emotional challenges that you are not even privy to. Sometimes, even if you make your assessment, you are still bound to meet things you were unprepared for. But remember that if you choose to walk away, it can come with healing. It can come with clarity or rediscovery of yourself. So I would advise that don't just walk away until you have truly reflected. But also I would advise you that don't stay if staying is destroying you. In a nutshell, I would advise you that you have to prioritize your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. These are very, very important before you decide whether you have to stay or walk away. To conclude on this episode, I would like to add that cheating doesn't have a fixed consequences. It is something that calls for deep thinking, honest conversations, and self-awareness. And you must understand that the goal is not just to react, but to respond wisely. But if you decide to leave, I would advise that you do it with peace and purpose, not with pressure or pride. In all things, what I would say is that build a marriage that honors you and your healing. Any other thing can wait. So this is the end of this episode, and I believe you have learned so much regarding must you divorce when your partner cheats. Like I said, it depends, and I believe that you choose the right or positive decision for yourself. My name is Dr. Obuobi. You can call me Love Dr. Obi. If you haven't subscribed yet, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.